I'm really excited to share this new feature that I created inside of my storyline course because it uses a serverless endpoint to create a dynamic leaderboard, which is really fun. But there's also some other really interesting parts because I use this to quiz people about a topic. When I go through this, imagine it being any topic. If you're a little unfamiliar with what a SCORM is, this is a great course to actually take, I think, and I'd love your opinion. But let me start it off by entering my name, and I'll start in here. This landing page, this is a free course. It's just something I put together to showcase this function, basically. So this function has a lot of moving parts, and I get accused a lot of kind of showing too much and having too many bells and whistles on a page. But I was really excited about sharing this with you. So this is the copper level, and the more interactions, the higher you go. So you can get to a platinum level. So that's my little gamification. I'm not a huge proponent of gamification, but it does serve its purpose, I guess. So there's this feature, which is pretty cool. This course has a test your knowledge. So it's a little piece over here, and I probably should have put it into this section. But what I'm trying to do is set this section up as the meat and potatoes of the actual course. So the learner can do an interactive course. And when they do the interactive course, then basically what you do is you go through an eLearning. It's a level 1, straightforward, just straight course. So it's a page turner. You might notice this little icon here. So this is actually our stats for the actual course. And I'll get to that real soon because that's being dynamically updated. Every time you go to a different page, I'm actually seeing the path that each person is taking. And the idea is to measure how many people are going to actually go through the interactive course, or are you more interested in watching a video? I found a couple of SCORM videos. Obviously, this is a great one. It's a 60-second overview on what SCORM is. If you're unfamiliar with it, this is the one I would really recommend. These guys go on a little bit about what SCORM is. I like the video. I'm just not 100% thrilled about how they do it, but that's just one person's perspective. I think that they did a great job explaining about SCORM. So these, you can click on this and actually watch the video. So it's pretty cool if you have some time. This is the real big thing though. So this is the interactive chat. So in the interactive chat, you can go in and you can ask questions about what a SCORM is. So that's what I'll do here for a second is I'll go through and I'll just ask some questions and see what happens. So the important part is this is like a ChatGPT interface. I built it that way so that people would intuitively know what's going on, right? What is a SCORM? There's a little bit of a delay because of how I have it set up. The reason why I set it up this way is because I'm using OpenAI's GPT assistant. So the conversation is just like we have with ChatGPT. So with ChatGPT, every question you have follows a history. So that's what this is doing as well. So there's another way to do it, which is called completion. And a completion won't remember typically what you said previously, so that's why there's a little bit of a delay anyways. Okay. I don't understand. So the power, hopefully people see that this is an interaction, and because the learner or participant is interacting with it, I'm actually saving all of the information into a database. So now I know everything that Adam is asking. What we can do with that is query all this data from all these participants later on, let's say in a month or 2 months or however long it takes. But you can use ChatGPT or your large language model to actually query all of the questions to see what the commonalities were between the questions And then you can develop a new course that answers these questions right up front and address them. Whoops. And of course, because we're using this large language model, we can talk in any language. So this really breaks a lot of barriers where the videos are in one language, the e-learning is in another language, although NRZ just came out with an amazing JavaScript that looks like it's going to transform a lot of this for us so we can have it in multiple languages. But this allows people to really get a good understanding of what it is that they're trying to do and whatnot. So there could be maybe a pre-test so that they could study for certain things. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. All right, so I'm done with this. The real thing now is let's go over to test the knowledge. So with this section, it's pretty straightforward. You have 5 minutes to answer questions, and the questions are generated by the large language model through a prompt that's behind the scenes. So because we're using a serverless endpoint, I'm doing a lot of things in the background actually. But what this is doing is it's allowing us to ask a question, get the response, ask another question, get another response, and it's going to give you points between 0 and 10 points per your response. And that's where we're going to come back to this leaderboard function, which is really cool. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. So this is how it acts. So what is a SCORM? I forgot. Maybe it's a zip file. This is just a little pop-up message. I'm only doing this for 5 minutes just to put some sort of endpoint on it, basically. This is the response. Imagine whatever this is, code of conduct. So you give the code of conduct to the large language model, and then you ask it to answer the learner, give them points based on this, and ask them a new question and give them feedback. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it. What are the key components? The So that's definitely not 100% correct. But what I'm trying to do is give it context to see how it responds, because how it responds is where the power is, right? This actually turns into a true learning event, which is really pretty interesting. So it gave me 7 out of 10 and it gave me all of this information. Let me see if I can get this one correct. I'm looking at a couple different large language models to make this faster. I just really like how it remembers what you said before, because you could go and interrupt this and start asking it questions about this, like I don't understand or I disagree or whatever, and it's going to start having that full on conversation with you. So I only get 6 points. What? Okay. So now we've gone through a bunch of this, right? So imagine, see this progress bar down here too. So this is annoying. But anyways, what I'm trying to do is just draw people's attention that there's a finite amount of time that is available on this to have these interactions, because it does cost a little bit of money. But anyways, so let's look at the live stats. So when I click on that, this is actually the live stats. Now I've taken this course a couple of times. So actually, I'm the only one that's taken this course. So I'm just going through a bunch of testing. These are the different dates that I was started. And so it's just something I've been working on the side here for a couple of days. But this is actually live. So think that's right. I don't think I'm 100% right though. So it's unfortunate. I did sign up as Adam. So you're not probably going to see this, but if we're here, what's going to happen is that's going to update. And then this page flashes and it shows the update. So see, I'm at 103. This is probably taking in, this is certainly taking in from my other attempts that I've made today. So that's what it's doing because I signed in with the same name. So that's one thing I should probably do is create some sort of other unique identifier. I do have a ID that's being generated. Oh, so it's because I'm on the same page and I'm just refreshing it. That's what it's doing. So this calculated me up. So I have 103. So this is sorted from top to bottom. So this is a true leaderboard. But what's interesting here is we now know that 4 people went through the interactive course. The actual trigger is on I think it's the last slide is where the actual trigger happens. The trigger happens after, I think, 20 seconds on each video course. So if somebody watched video 1, I have those analytics, but it's really, I just wanted to see how many people are choosing chat over video versus course. So that's what this is doing. And then this is how many front page visitors there. That's just me testing it out. And then how many users were created. So 44. So that's just some kind of data. So I really like all of these features. And I thought that it was something fun to share. And then to get back to any page, you click the obnoxious close button I created. So thank you so much for any feedback you have. And see how I'm on the bronze level now because I just did the interactive chat for a little while. So that's when that trigger happens. The test your knowledge is really where it's at. You can get really creative there. Through any page, you can click on this to actually inspect that Google Sheet and actually see how you rank with others. Thanks again. And would really love your feedback on this because I think that this is like a great way to have materials that you could show and then have a reflection moment where the reflection moment is with a ChatGPT type of interaction and the information is all stored and we can access that information in a great way and use it for valuable reasons.